Okay, here with Simon Zhou after our day in Marlborough with the Great Wine Capitals. What are your impressions of Marlborough today? Have you been here before?
I have. I've been here many times.
Great.
But I haven't been back for 5 years,
Yes.
5+ years now. And
Yep.
what I have seen today really impressed me. Not only the growth, which is incredible in 5 years' time, but also the innovation. The innovation not only in product, also in the techniques wines are produced, and the passion behind the label as well. So that's something that I think it's a big jump from 2005 when I was here last year.
Do you think that's confidence that does that? Like, do you think Marlborough, sort of they believe what we're doing now a bit more and able to translate that into a bit more confidence with our wines, or
I think
passion?
Marlborough's getting more mature. I think it's not a one-trick pony anymore, where Sauvignon Blanc dominated many years ago. Now we see the growth of Pinot Gris, the Pinot Noir, and different styles of Sauvignon Blanc, not just a single Marlborough style. It has, I guess, diversities in the style, which is really something that comes with age. I guess with the age of wine, with more understanding of the terroir, and we are starting to find new ways of expressing Marlborough rather than just one style.
Great. And is that important in China, would you say, as an entry strategy for our Sauvignon Blanc, or is it just about awareness, people informing people, or about diversity of style?
Probably in China it's not so important at the moment.
Yeah.
It's about introducing, I'd probably say introducing New Zealand as a whole, not just Marlborough. New Zealand, it's small enough in China where you can probably introduce it as one place, rather than split into different regions where you can get a bit lost, where 95% of the population don't even know where New Zealand is, let alone try to figure out where actual Marlborough is, or Awatere Valley, or southern valleys.
Yeah.
So it's no point digging down too deep. Where we should market New Zealand as a whole and New Zealand product as a whole. So that's my view. But in the future, yeah, definitely it's important to segment Marlborough out of it. And Marlborough is the biggest producer anyway, so it's dominant in the wines produced anyway. So eventually you will separate into its own identity.
What do you think a realistic time frame for New Zealand to be recognised as a wine producer in, not mainstream China, because that's never going to happen, but in the wine drinking circle of Chinese?
Probably 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Because you've got to convert, most of wine drinkers are red wine drinkers. So we see a growth of white wine, but it's slow. So you're looking at maybe another 10 years where white wine, with a new generation coming on stream, where white wine is becoming more popular, and then New Zealand has a huge opportunity there. Our red wine, it's never going to be as famous as our white wine, probably in China in the near future. So probably in 10 years, yeah, white wine will become important segment, and New Zealand will do well.
Great. And your services, are you a consultant or a distributor, or do you wear many hats?
Yeah, we also consult for a few companies, but our main hats are to sell the wine. So we feel passionate about New Zealand products, so we place a very strong marketing focus behind New Zealand brands, and yeah, we see some good results.
And what should a winery who's got a distributor in China do? What should they? Because everyone says, look, I'm an educator or whatever. What's the main thrust, do you think?
Well, most wineries in New Zealand, in the global terms, are quite small, so we don't have the budget to promote in a large scale. So what we need to do is we need to spend time, I wouldn't say bugging, but more pushy, bit more pushy, and bit more let your distributor or let your importer more aware of what you're doing. Easy things like sending them an email, let them know that you have just started picking, or 2010 has been a great vintage for us, or vice versa, 2010 hasn't been a great vintage for us, or anything like that. Small things like that, keep them aware that you're still there, you're still doing things. Send them promotional materials when you win awards, just little things like that. It doesn't cost anything, but you got to be in the face of your importer and distributor, not lose contact for 6 months in a year, and then your brand will be lost. And especially in a larger distributor, your brand will be lost. So depending on your budget, you can travel, you can do tastings, dinners, be at the market, promote the wines, go to the venues, go to the restaurant that sell your wine, eat there, always helps. And make sure you get a face-to-face contact with the people who are on the ground selling it, and that way you get some confidence into these people when they understand more about your product, and they are more willing to pass the message on to the end consumer. And once the end consumer gets your message, your brand is set for a long time.
It's a good tip. It's not that hard to do some of that.
It's about consistency. It's about persistence. You can do it for 1 month, but you got to keep at it. You got to do it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You not just do it for this month and let's forget about it next month and because I'm on holiday, and then it's a bit too hard and I'll worry about it later. No, it's not later. It's now. You've got to do it all the time.
And I guess that relationship is the key, is really as your distributor, because you're not going to have the budget. Most wineries aren't going to get to the end consumer.
No.
Social media is a little different in China, so that's a bit harder as well.
Absolutely, very difficult.
So it's really that distributor link.
You've got to push your distributor. You've got to have opportunity to talk to their staff and train their staff with the opportunity, and you've got to get your message to them. And you can influence them, and they can influence a lot of people. So
a lot of backhanders, is that a motivational tool in restaurants, either above the board or below the board? Is there a line?
Yeah,
that's
but you don't
crossed?
want to play the game though.
Yeah.
Because we're too small to play the game. You don't have the budget. We don't. Most of our wineries are family owned. Most of our wineries are small. We don't have the massive budget like other wineries have. So we want to, I guess, we'll focus on quality. Focus on your sense of your story, your philosophy. You got to pass that on to your distributor. You got to give them a reason to buy your product. Find their reason and to get it.
Good tips. I like it. Straight, simple advice.
It's not difficult, but it's difficult to do it in the long period.
Yeah. I
You've got to be
appreciate
persistent.
that. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's a good tip. Everyone listening, wineries? Thank you, Simon.
No worries.